I believe actors are born, and I think I believe that I was born that way.
Questioning what did he do right or wrong for his children to get into the world of crime.
When we sat down and started breaking it up, we wanted to keep it an emotional story at the core.
We are set with a time travel because we are going back in time to Bambai. From Mumbai to Bambai, and Bambai Meri Jaan, congratulations, what a fabulous trailer. And I'll ask you first, of course this story or something like this has been told many times, it has been read by many. Why did you pick this subject to make a show out of it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stories and a lot of content has come out on the scene of organized crime and on crime thrillers and on crime dramas, but no, it's not been told by me. So yeah, so that was one thing.
Yes.
What really kind of attracted me to the story and to what Renzel and the writers had actually fleshed out and put out, and Qasim being a huge part of creating the series, was the relationship dynamics. So this is a story about a family. For me, I would say this is my Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gham. In my way, and the crime element of the narrative is the backdrop.
Yeah.
So essentially it tells a really strong story of a man questioning what did he do right or wrong for his children to get into the world of crime.
Right.
So it is a father's narrative. It is seen from the father's perspective, and what he's questioning is on thematically on nature versus nurture. So that is what really kind of attracted me to tell this dysfunctionality of this family and their relationships.
Amazing. Qasim, you tell me, like, when in the process of scripting, what were your kind of resources that you picked on? Was it just Hussein's book, or did you also have other elements? And what made you make the show term as a fictionalized tale from that book?
So there was no book as a reference. When Hussein came up with a fictional story, what we really loved about it is it's a story of right versus wrong, good versus evil. It's a father-son, which are the two sides of the same coin, right? It's high on emotions. When we sat down and started breaking it up, we wanted to keep it an emotional story at the core. While we've seen various crime dramas and crime stories, this story is high on emotions, and that was what we were working towards. But it's a fictional story, and because Hussein Zaidi has reported crime for so long, there may be sort of inspirations that he may have drawn, but we've consciously made it a point not to sort of refer to any book. It's a fictional story, and we'd like to keep it like that.
Okay. KK, of course, you spoke at the trailer launch how you kind of look at the playing the part as a people, not person, and not as a character. When you get a script, like, what is going in your mind? Like, many actors, I'm sure, would be looking at maybe the screen time or the character graph. What is your approach when you kind of take a part?
No, that is true with me also. I look at it as whether I have got a substantial element to play in it. Of course, obviously, any actor. But for me, it's not something that's measurable. Because when you read a script, it's a very subjective attachment to it. You can't objectively put it, I'm ticking these boxes, so I'm doing this, for example, for an actor, because he's in the business of emotions. So for him to say, this is why I've picked this role, is very difficult, if he's honest with himself. As they say in Hindi, प्यार हो गया इस चीज़ से, तो आपने कर लिया. अब उसमें मापदंड नहीं होता कुछ. You can't really measure it out and say, okay, fine, this is why I fell in love with this. No, you can't do that. So similarly with me. So when I read the script entirely, I just found a very interesting aspect. A takeaway for me was that every individual or family is a product of an environment. You know? So the environment actually makes you the way you are.
Yeah.
So this was set in an environment in which the supremacy was gained not by becoming a doctor or a lawyer or whatever it is. Supremacy was gained by being a gangster, people who can do some stuff.
Yeah.
So that was the kick that environment created. So the family, in this family, it's dysfunctional or functional because of the environment. And you have children who are conditioned to this environment right from the beginning. So they follow their own path, they have their own logic to what they do. The father is somehow trying to break this environment and get away from it. And in the process, he kind of doesn't succeed in doing that to his own children.
Yeah.
So it's in that sense a tragic element of the father.
Right.
Though he wants to be on the right side, etc., he too will have to make certain compromises.
Absolutely.
Because he has to live in that environment.
Yeah.
So all these complexities, I think, made it very interesting to portray, one as for an actor, and number two, the world that this show developed eventually. So for me, all that put together, in the abstract sense, that's what subjective inclination towards doing this was.
Kritika, you tell me, of course, you spoke about how you've played good girl characters. Does it feel flattering when a filmmaker approaches you with something like this?
The filmmaker did not approach me. I tested for it. I am so grateful that Casting Bay, Anmol Kitat and the team, they called me for something like this, because even it feels surreal to me. Honestly, when I saw the trailer, I was like, I don't know how I did this. So, only when you do something, you know whether you can or not. And that got validated because Sir liked my test, and he met me, and I'm so different from the character. Like Sir mentioned, the lingo and the mannerisms of the character, they're very different from me as a person. So for him to just believe that I could pull this off, watching that test was great validation for me, and hopefully I've done the job well. I don't know.
Nivita, you tell me, of course, we keep talking about how women actors are not getting the kind of roles that they want to do, but OTT has given that space, but we still don't get to see much of you. That's the complaint that we have from you first. So you tell us, what is the real picture? Do you get enough good roles that make you want to go back on set? How is it in the real world?
Frankly, a role has to be exciting enough for me to actually get to the set, as you said. And there has to be content which is exciting, something. Otherwise, usually what happens is that we're doing a show XYZ and Fala Ki Mother or whatever, those are the roles which I stay away from. I'm never interested in playing कि ये कहानी है और इसकी माँ आप आएंगी, सॉरी आप, मैं कहती हूँ कि आप मुझे ब्रीफ भी मत सुनाइए, आपका समय ज़ाया होगा. That's genuinely, that's what I do. I don't take extra time from the people who call me for such roles. I say thank you very much, but right now I'm not in that space, so I'm not keen. So yes, roles which are beyond being a mother, for example, Sakina, she is quintessentially not the mother. There is so much to Sakina. She's nuanced. She has lots to do. She has an entire graph, right? From 60s, she's like, she must have been married young, 16, 17. From that age to being an older woman, she has an entire arc. And that was something extremely exciting. She has her moments. She has her say in the family matters. She has a say in the story. Lot of things. In fact, every character here is taking the story ahead. They are intrinsic part of the story, and which is what I look for in a character when I am offered certain parts. And here, Sakina gave me ample, so it was really exciting.
KK, of course, because we're talking about yesteryear, initially there was this pressure to arrive for actors. Do you think when you started, that pressure had subsided, or you too had to deal with your own kind of struggle where people had to give that one big hit to arrive?
Provided you look outside yourself too much, then that happens. I believe actors are born, and I think I believe that I was born that way. I realized it a bit late. I was into other aspirations. But if you were to sit down after a point, of course I had to sit down. Sat down, did some, as they call in Hindi, manthan, and Swadharm, you know, your calling, you come to know.
Yeah.
Because all through I've been doing stage, and the freedom and the happiness and the elation and the joy that I used to get there, in those days I didn't realize why it is happening. Everything else gave me the money, of course, but it was a grind.
Yeah.
Here, it just came easy to me. It just happened, and then I realized that this is my calling, perhaps, and I switched over with the confidence that I am already an actor. That's the whole difference. So, arriving
Yeah.
ka chakkar nahi hai yahan pe. So yeah, I might be arriving in a slightly slower vehicle, but I knew that there's nothing called arriving here,
Yeah.
because it's a continuous journey. The moment you have your focus on the goal, then you will miss the ball and you'll be stumped. So you've got to focus on exactly what you're doing, and that goal will gradually come to you rather than you going to whatever that goal is.
Yeah.
Because for me, a goal, an aim, etc., are fictitious things. It's not there. It's in your mind. So that becomes a reality only if you actually do this very well right now. And that will keep coming closer to you. So I've never believed that I have to arrive anywhere. I kept doing things because I wanted to do them and enjoy them and have great pleasure in doing them. And I'm perhaps the most passionately dispassionate actor. The moment I finish something, while working, I'm extremely passionate about it. The moment I finish, I'm completely dispassionate about it. Because that product, that cinema, that show has been given birth to, and anything that is born has a destiny. So it will follow its own destiny. You need not hang on to it. Let it be. It will happen. And you move on. That's what I've been following. Otherwise, I would be in a mental asylum by now. So I would actually hang on to everything that I've done. Because some things don't succeed in spite of yourself. Some things succeed in spite of yourself. Many things happen. So for me, it's never been arriving anywhere. It's always been there.